Hello, you beautiful folks at home. I know you're wondering, what am I doing on camera? I just wanted to preface this episode of 5 Cheap Games. I've been working on this episode of 5 Cheap Games for a couple weeks now. And there is some issues with my editing software and the footage, the gameplay footage I captured. I didn't like it. I don't know why. So I was able to work out a lot of the kinks, but for some reason, when it comes to the last 3 entries on this episode of 5 Cheap Games, with the footage, there's a little bit of a stutter sometimes, and I haven't been able to get it to stop. So I decided, instead of postponing the project until a later date, I would just go ahead and put it out as is. So yeah, enjoy this episode of 5 Cheap Games. Sorry if you're annoyed by the footage stutter. It doesn't affect my opinion on the games. It doesn't affect anything else. It's just a visual thing. So hopefully you can still enjoy the episode. Sorry. I would like to have fixed it, but that would require me to get all new gameplay footage, and using Twitch on my Xbox is the only method I have to do that through my Xbox right now. And it would also, if this is footage from Twitch, it would just result in the same issue. So enjoy the episode, guys. I'm working on a top secret project right now in my office for TurboZone. I won't tell you what it is because it's top secret. But I wanted to get this episode out. So yeah, thanks for watching. Welcome back to 5 Cheap Games. Today we are following up on the episode I did back, I think it was last December. I talked about 5 cheap games for the Xbox Series S and S. And today we're hopping back on that bandwagon to talk about more cheap Xbox games. You know, right now is an interesting time for console gaming because it feels like there's a lot of dread surrounding consoles. A lot of people talking about the Xbox failing, the PlayStation not having games, what's going on with Nintendo. They haven't revealed anything yet. So it's a weird time to be a console gamer, like myself. I do like playing on my Steam Deck and my computer sometimes, but primarily I still play my Xbox a lot. A huge fan of the console. So if maybe you just or wondering what there even is to play on Xbox right now, if you have a console and you want some recommendations because no brand new games are coming out that interest you, or maybe you're just here to make fun of me and my choice of games, who knows. But sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. I have a guest today. My buddy Teddy of Majora T is actually going to take 2 of the entries today because, just like me, he gets a lot of use out of his Xbox Series S as well. So I'm actually going to let him do the first 2, and then I'm going to do the last 3 of this episode. Also, the games that I consider cheap are $20 and under, and we didn't include anything that's backwards compatible for the 360 and Xbox lineage, because you can buy 360 and original Xbox games, but with a few exceptions, they're usually already under $20. So there's really no use in including those in a 5 Cheap Games episode. Maybe down the line I'll do a episode talking about the backwards compatible games that I recommend. So sit back, relax, grab yourself an Xbox controller. Both these controllers are made on Xbox Design Lab. They're very pretty. And enjoy this episode of 5 Cheap Games. Take it away, Teddy.
Thank you, Alex of TurboZone, for allowing me to talk about some cheap Xbox Series S games. The first one I want to spotlight is a twin-stick shooter called Tesla versus Lovecraft. That's right. I know you're a Lovecraftian fellow, Mr. Turbo, and this game lets you shoot the fictional horrors of H.P. Lovecraft himself as none other than the genius, innovator, scientific prodigy Nikola Tesla. Unfortunately, you don't drive a Tesla in this game. Or fortunately, I don't know. What's your perspective on Tesla? Well, in this game, it's favorable, I hope, because you are the protagonist Tesla. And this is a very interesting twin-stick shooter in that it's almost blended with RPG systems per level. They reset as you do each level, but as you play and you destroy the Lovecraftian monsters, you can level up in different ways. You get kind of a split path. You can either increase things like your firepower, your firing rate, drop rates, extra health, and that's just to name a few. A lot of cool weapons that you can pick up as you play. You start with sort of a regular pistol, and then you can pick up shotguns. You can pick up rapid fire weapons. You also can start with a mech and then unlock parts for the mech. As you complete stages, you save up crystals, and you can use them to build your character even more with a couple extra perks. And that's all nice and cute little novelties, but I think the fun here is really the twin stick action. It works really well. So you're basically using three controls. You're using the left stick to move your character, the right stick to toggle which direction they're facing, the right bumper to fire your weapon, the Y button to pick your upgrades, and you can also drop a mech when you've picked all the pieces. There's also this teleporting technique that's really useful to get you out of sticky situations. And I really like this game. I think it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of complexity to it, and it's really just good for a quick burst of fun and entertainment. As far as Series S optimized titles, this is one of my favorites. There are two versions to pick from. There is either the Game of the Year edition, which I own, or the vanilla version. The Game of the Year version is $17.99 and the regular version is $14. And basically, the Game of the Year edition just has some extra weapon DLC from what I'm seeing. For science, for love, for turbo. And yeah, for what it's worth, I would honestly just get the Game of the Year edition. It's a great game. It's worth supporting. Okay, the second game I want to talk about is probably no surprise. It is an Xbox One title, but that counts. And quite frankly, this is a signature Xbox title. It's Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition. I love this game. It's a beautiful game. It's a well-playing game. It's a well-thought-out game. It's an interesting spin on the Metroidvania. Love that term, Metroidvania, the Metroid Castlevania from the RPG era Castlevanias. And it's a really emotional tale. I really like it for that. There's some really cinematic moments. It's really beautiful. I love playing this game on the big TV with the sound bar. And it's really like fluid. It feels good to play when you're playing as Ori and you're doing these jumps and some of these attacks, and you're also building up your character through these RPG mechanics. I really like it. It's not your average Metroidvania. It's not your average action-adventure RPG. It's an Xbox take on it. And I really like it. And honestly, if you own the Series S, like, this is a must-play. It's always on Game Pass. It's on sale a lot, but honestly, it is worth just buying at full retail price. I believe it's $19.99 because it is just a fantastic game. And I could go back and replay it many times. And I've sadly never played Will of the Wisps. I would like to one day, but quite frankly, I can't recommend that without recommending this first. This is a terrific game and a must-play for Xbox owners. Well, thank you, Alex of TurboZone. I'm going to go ahead and pass the cheap games back to you.
This is a game called Raised. It is a 3D running platformer obstacle game. It's very unique. If I had to compare it to other games, I would compare it to a little bit of Sonic, a little bit of Bit Trip, a little bit of Monkey Ball, and it's very unique and not a game I hear people talk about very often. It is a game where the main story of the game is that you are going to be erased. This dude is telling you that, hey, he's going to erase you. He gives you these shoes that are basically going to erase you from the game. He's not happy with the game. He's going to start over. And if you don't keep moving, the shoes will explode. That's sort of the gist of the whole title. So, in this really cool low poly world, these different environments, you have to keep running. Anything you do besides run will lower the bar surrounding you. Even things like jumping can hurt you. Luckily, you can collect little orbs that will refill the bar, so it gives you more of a chance. But it can be a very, very tricky game because even navigating the different obstacles in the areas can also cause you death. Falling can cause you death. Running into things can cause you death. Anything you do besides run can cause you death. So you have to plan out accordingly. It's a game where you're going to die and die and die, and you're going to finally get the good run. So if you don't have patience for that kind of game, this definitely is not the game for you. But I really like this title. It was one that I picked up for very cheap one time on sale. Normally it's like $11. I think on sale I bought it for $3 or something. And I was really impressed by this game. Surprised people haven't really talked about it that much. So if you're into 3D platformers and want something a little different with more of a challenge, Raised is definitely a game that I would recommend for you. Next is a game that just has a lot to talk about, which is very hard to do on a segment like this because I have to talk about this huge game in a very short amount of time. This is Portal Knights. This game usually retails for about $20, and if you're into more relaxed games, like Minecraft or maybe like a Stardew Valley or, those kind of games, the ones I'm talking about. If you're into things like that, this game could very much be up your alley. But also, I think this game is unique in the sense that it's sort of like a game like Minecraft, but it has more of an RPG feel. Basically, you'll make an RPG character. I have my little guy here you're seeing. And you can, for one, gather resources and build things. You can build buildings and whatever you can do in Minecraft. Craft things, obviously. But also, you can accept quests. It is part RPG. You battle enemies, level up, accept quests, explore dungeons. This game has co-op, so you can play it with another person. Has online support, of course. It's just a really cool game when it comes to these types of games. The only other game I could think of that maybe mashes these two elements together so successfully like this, off the top of my head, is maybe Dragon Quest Builders, I think is what that one's called, and My Time at Portia. They kind of have a similar feel to this, but this very much feels more inspired by something like Minecraft. But it is very fun. I have enjoyed my time playing this one and exploring the different areas, and it's a game that I really want to get more into. It's a game that I bought with the anticipation to play more of it. I think it was on Game Pass for a short time, and I think I played a little bit of it there and really liked what I played and bought it, and I needed to spend more time with this one. But I do think it is worth your time if you're into these more relaxing, fun little games like this. And I can see you putting an infinite amount of time into Portal Knights. What are you doing?
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Now that's not what I expected.
Next, we have Halo Wars Definitive Edition. Wait a second, Alex. At the very beginning of the episode, you said you're not including anything for the Xbox 360. Well, I'm not, because Halo Wars Definitive Edition is actually a 2016 Xbox One reissue of the 360 game of the same name, with some improvements both visually and gameplay-wise. Halo Wars, of course, takes place in the very popular Halo series, and is an RTS. It just so happens that Halo Wars Definitive Edition retails for $20. It often goes on sale for much less, but still, $20 is my cap, so this is classified as a cheap game. I'm only showing you footage here from Mission 3, but there's all sorts of different variations of missions in this game. It is an RTS, so if you are a fan of real-time strategy games, I know that playing an RTS with a controller may sound awful, and in some instances it is awful, but I think they were able to make it pretty intuitive with this game and its sequel Halo Wars 2, honestly. But this game especially, I think, is very intuitive with how you play. It doesn't feel that awkward using a controller for RTS functionality in this title, I don't think. Commanding your troops, building different bases, they all feel very natural. They make it very easy to understand. The story is basic Halo fare. There is really not much of a Master Chief in this game, but if you're a fan of Halo and its lore, there's something to gain with the story mode in this game. There are some cool cutscenes to enjoy. And overall, I think this is a really quality title, and something that maybe if you've played all the other Halo titles and you're looking for something else to play, you might have overlooked Halo Wars, and Definitive Edition is the best version of this game. So give it a download, give it a try, and let me know what you think. I really like Halo Wars.
Give me a minute, and I'll get this bridge operational.
You heard the lady. Let's give her some privacy. Watch those doors. Looks like company's coming.
Hopefully there was something there for you to enjoy. 5 fantastic games, all from different genres, and all very cheap. There's still a lot to enjoy on these consoles nowadays. I get that maybe the first-party publishers or big studios aren't pushing out games as quickly as you'd like, but there's still a huge backlog of, especially on Xbox, 4 generations of games to play, and a lot of cheap ones at that. So I still think it's a worthwhile console to play and buy and play. And the Series S is a great value, so fantastic. I'm sure this won't be the last time I revisit this for a 5 Cheap Games episode. Thanks. Let me know in the comments what other consoles or things you want to see 5 Cheap Games for, and I'll do an episode based on that if I like your suggestion. I'm going to go play some Xbox with my 2 controllers.